Welcome back, everybody. It's Rudy with Alpha Investments. I know. Everybody liked this whole thing, so I want to do it again because everybody really. There you guys are. Everybody liked the whole. Let's put the audience on a shelf, and Rudy's gonna talk to everybody on a shelf. That was a lot of fun. You guys like my dusty? I found this in the back. Look at this thing. Isn't that crazy? Good Lord! Look at the wrapping on that thing. Jeez, it's like saran wrap from like my middle school peanut butter and jelly. All right, so today, conversation around working. I get this. This is a very common thing I get all the time. And the question is actually based around, Rudy, the hours you work, this and that. I'm trying to work. I want to build maybe a cardboard empire. Maybe I want to start a restaurant or a business or something. And, you know, I get these questions about the hours and working. So today's video is going to be more of a psychological, emotional, kind of a mind video, something silly, cheesy, cliche. I'm not really trying to sell you a get-rich-quick CD or a private thing. I don't really care. I just want you guys to listen. That's really all we're going for here today. We're in a strange time. 2020 is definitely a cultural shift, evolution. The economy is evolving. See, that's one of the biggest things. There's a lot of issues. You got money printer going burr. You got Wizards printer going burr. You got a lot of scary things happening when it comes to economies and inflation and everything. And the facts right now are the world is very unstable right now with the virus situation. You got a lot of cultural evolution to the future and anger and frustration out there. These are all facts. I mean, we all know what's going on. And then we also know that there is a form of inflation happening, whether or not governments and professionals who are educated, not living in basements, want to acknowledge it. By the way, did you guys even notice the background here? Like the pre-release kits are starting to come in and the walls gotten bigger. Did anybody notice that? Probably not. So based on all of this, I think I want to talk about the work and what I see going on. And here's the thing. Most people, including myself when I was younger, we work part-time. We work, you know, three days a week, maybe 4 nights a week in a restaurant. Well, back when restaurants were allowed to be open or whatever it is now with this virus stuff. And, you know, we all work a certain amount of hours. We make a certain amount of money. We are under the impression our income's a certain level and we can physically work so much. And I'm kind of here to tell you all that most people are just lazy. They don't want to do anything. We all want to take the path of least resistance. And most of us never get anywhere because, simply put, we don't really give it our 100%. We don't try. So old man Rudy here, Papa Rudy. Literally, this is like Papa. I'm going to name this video like Papa Rudy. Like Papa Rudy, like Dad talking to you all. Let me explain something to everybody. You know, I think everybody, a patron gave me this really interesting line the other day. And the patron said, Rudy, most people underestimate the amount of hours in a week and how much they can actually get done if they actually worked 40 to 60 true hours of work per week. And I guess the thing that caught my attention was, it wasn't he said working 40 hours a week. It wasn't that he said working 60 hours a week. It was he said working true work hours. And that's what really caught my attention. I was like, can you elaborate what you mean by true work hours? And I had this conversation years ago also with a really, like, I think it was a college professor and someone else, like I mentored an intern with. This guy was in like his late 20s when I was in my mid-early 20s. He was like maybe 6-7 years older than me at the brokerage firm. And this dude was like, he had already made like $20 million. And of course, I'm living at home with my parents still, legitimately, not, you know, Rudy basement joke, like actual living at my parents. When I was, you know, and just out of college, trying to save money, you know, buy my first house, that kind of thing, you know. And I literally like admired and I was jealous and envious of this guy. And I was like, wow, dude, this guy's like 30 years old or like 29. And he's living in like a $500,000 house. He's got a brand new, shiny, fancy car. He's got some hot girlfriend that come visit him at work and this and that. I was like, this guy's got everything going for him. And, you know, young little Rudy, little Timmy Rudy, you can, TR, Timmy Rudy? All right, little TR. That sounds like something you guys can call me. Little TR? What do you guys think? And I envied that. I was like, wow, I was jealous. I was envious. I was like, I want that. And I remember having lunch with the guy at, where did we have lunch? Qdobe's? We called it Qdoba. That was Qdoba. Oh my God, they had like this queso and Mexican stuff. I know. Everyone's in the comments like, Rudy's life always goes back to tacos and I know. I got a problem with it. Seriously. Okay. And I just remember him telling me, he says, even when you work your 40-hour job per week, you're probably actually only working about 15 to 20 hours a week at the most. And I was like, come on. Seriously? He said, honestly, the average person watching this video who actually does work full-time in 2020, on a normal 8-hour day, usually the first 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes, you're mentally checked out. You're burning the clock. You don't care. Usually your lunch, 15 minutes before lunch, 15 minutes after lunch. So in other words, about a 2-hour window, including the 1-hour lunch and an hour before and after. You're kind of zoning in and out. You're waiting for lunch. You're talking to your coworkers. Where are we going for lunch? What are we doing? And who's hot? Who's not? And I said, well, that's actually pretty true in most big companies. And then throughout the day, you're taking breaks. You're going to go to the snack area. You're going to the vending machines. A lot of you go to the bathroom and do shady, gross things. A lot of people hang out in the bathroom, play on their phones. People go out to their car and take naps. People literally walk around and socialize. And I was like, that probably applies to millions of people. And he said, therefore, you actually do 20 hours at the most of true work. And that was when I had a really interesting moment of, and I remember the individual saying to me, Rudy, can you imagine if you actually did 40 to 60 hours a week? Can you imagine 60 hours a week of true work? That would be equivalent to most people's 3 full-time jobs. Like the velocity, the rate of change that you would start running so much quicker financially, you would outrun everybody. And then all of a sudden I had this visualization in my head. I was visualizing like thousands of you guys watching me. We were all waiting for our paycheck on Friday, and then we wait to the next Friday. And all of a sudden, like one guy over here is going so hardcore day and night. He just, as everybody else is waiting for the next paycheck, this guy is just outrunning everybody. The rate of speed and the rate of work is just decimating the competition. And that was the first kind of, I don't know, do I want to be cheesy? Dab. The first kind of taste. The first, exposure to that kind of placebo, endorphin, some sort of pleasure thing, some sort of taste of money. And like a thought, like kind of rewiring how I looked at things. And I hope this is coming out good, because what this ended up doing to me was this really helped amplify my direction with other things too, my previous and, bad relationships and people who thought I was a loser, people who always bashed me my whole life. So again, even being on YouTube and getting it from the public and Reddit and everything. And, this is all par for the course. It really, all of that negativity is what really I owe so much gratitude and thanks to all of that. Because I really believe if people didn't really doubt and make fun of me, I don't think I would have pushed nearly as hard. The more the people ridiculed me, even when I was younger, for Magic cards. Because remember, everybody, I know a lot of you weren't playing Magic in the early 90s when I started, and I was first exposed to Magic cards. Before Magic became Magic the Yu-Gi-Oh-ing and poking your mom, and it literally was just Magic. Telling a girl, or telling my friends in high school or middle school that I played Magic cards immediately classified me as a loser. And as the years went by, and I realized, and I was able to take something that was a game that really wasn't just cards or a cheesy game for nerds. I learned that the big shots in this thing are World Poker Tour players. They're very wealthy CEOs, executives. The people who are behind the scenes in the higher levels of this Magic, these are no slouches. These are not losers and nerds. These are some hardcore, powerful people. And then when I realized all these people just constantly ridiculed Magic and ridiculed me, man, did it ignited something in me that literally, like the memes on the internet, hold my beer, watch this. It's like you guys see all the comments, the internet just says ABC and then it just says me. The comment just says me, hold my beer. Or you know what? You got one Lotus. I saw a comment the other day on my video where somebody says, the Betrayers of Kamigawa, where the intro had like From the Vault 20. I laughed for like 10 minutes because the intro scanned by some From the Vault 20s. And the top comment was Timmy walks into a store saying, hey, do you guys sell From the Vault? And the store owner goes, no, we haven't had that in years. And Rudy goes, how many do you need? And I don't know why that cracked me up. I just enjoy Magic so much because just that is the drive and passion I have for this. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's not about the money. I don't care. I love the thrill, the chase, being a part of it, seeing the sides of people. No good reprints. Rawr. Oh my God, they reprinted Force of Will, Unhinged Land. I'm out. I quit. Like just watching the missiles and pew pew pew, pew pew pew. Okay, seriously, I'm an adult, and I mean that's gonna be a meme. Pew pew pew. And you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to do any other job in the world. Doesn't even matter. You could offer me $1 million a year as a salary at some corporate, maybe taco place. But overall, I really thrive on it, and I love it because I found my calling. And I realized that when you really truly love something, the work and the hours become secondary. But the point of the video, everybody, was to let everybody know we all underestimate what we can do. You guys ever heard that internet thing or that meme that said something like, when we all say we've tried the best we could and we still failed? And like there was a thing that says like when you feel like you have to give up or you gave it all you got, that was only like 60 or 70% of really how far you could push yourself. You ever heard those things? Like when the mind gives up or you don't feel like you have enough strength or mental fortitude and you're ready to throw in the towel. There was a study on some psychological thing, double-blind, stupid study with thousands of people, where apparently it was like 65 to 70% of people, 65 to 70% was really how far you pushed yourself, and it really wasn't 100%. And I was like, man, you know how much further you could push? And that gets back to the hours of working. We all want to enjoy our lives. We all want flashy things and have fun, and for those of us who don't, we all want the same thing though. Even if you don't want flashy things and $100 million Black Lotuses, we all want the same thing. We want a better future for ourselves, financially, of course, be healthy, and your family, or maybe if you have kids, I have one little one, and for your next generation of family, you want a better future. That's something we all want. There's no way to argue against that. We all want something better for ourselves and our family and our loved ones. And the way to achieve that is, again, money won't make you happy. That is a fact in life. But being smart and pushing hard and doing truly the best you can, getting additional resources known as money will allow you to make better choices and open different opportunities, which you can guide yourself to make yourself happy. It's a very distinctive difference, everybody. And that's something that, seeing things, money won't make you happy, money is this and that. There's truth to it, but that's a very shallow statement. And, but that's really what this video is. I wanted to talk to everybody about this concept of work and what I see happening and why people just don't want to do it. I mean, man, I want to give, I know most people aren't watching this late in the video, I want to give you guys a little fun. I had a different story time video, I'm going to share this, but a lot of people don't know is I almost didn't graduate high school. C's get degrees. I made all straight C's and D's. Why? Because I had no desire. I couldn't stand the educational structured system. I didn't fit in. I was too much of an outside the box thinker. I questioned everything. I challenged everything. I had problems. And then my family wanted me to figure out what to do. Obviously, I wasn't going to go to college, and I was just working in, actually, the Fresh Market. Anybody know what that is? Grocery store? I think they're still around. Fresh Market, that was kind of my grocery store retail job. I think I did produce and like stocking shelves, little silly stuff. And I liked cars. I was souping up cars. It was the era of Fast and Furious. I wouldn't say an import tuner type of racer kind of thing, but because I did a lot, I like to really do, I did like a lot of, on my domestic vehicle, a lot of SVT, upper lower intake manifolds, changing fuel injectors, bigger injectors, different mass air sensor, retune, did a nitrous Zex wet system. I only ran like a 50-75 shot, straight pipes, remove catalytic converters, all this crap that teenagers do. And in Florida, it was a big thing. So my family recommended I get into automotive. So to finish this little 30-second story, I ended up working at car dealerships and doing automotive work, oil changes, and trying to be a mechanic technician. I know some of you guys noticed in some of my old videos, there's some backgrounds where I have like this massive tool collection, and which is true. I have like $20,000, $30,000 mechanics tool sets and all these black and silver toolboxes, and because I used to work at the dealerships. And when I first started doing it, I used to work in a dealership in Florida that was 24/7. I worked the graveyard shift for 2 years from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. at a Chrysler dealership in Florida. And the Chrysler company, the dealership, paid my college tuition for automotive. It was a little agreement we had. And I was making literally like $200 a week doing this because I wasn't turning many hours. I wasn't very good. I was new. And there wasn't a lot of work throughout the night. Duh. So I just want to let everybody know, I look back at that stuff. But the point is, I did it. I wanted to learn. I pushed. I worked all night. I was tired and I'd fall asleep. I'd take naps in my car. I did all that. I've been there, done that. And it molded me into somebody. And I remember at that time, too, I lost one of my infamous first major relationships. And she left me and we broke up, all these things, and it wrecked me for years. And for someone who was better, more successful, and actually, you know what? It was an older guy who was double my age. I think he was a police officer. I know, I can see that going, gee, cop in 2020, I know. But who cares? Anyways, the point is, I look back at that. I felt so not good enough, so little and worthless, and just such a crappy, oh look, here's a little mechanic loser guy. And she left me for someone who I thought was more successful, making 30, 40, 50,000 a year. And now I look back at that, and that was the origination. That was the origin moment that fueled me to push so hard. I started working the car stuff at dealerships. Then I worked restaurants at night. I started doing all these jobs. I was just so obsessed with pushing ahead. And that was like a turning point in my early 20s. Probably I'd say about 21, 22. And I thought you guys would appreciate kind of this backstory of me. And I wish I was a trust fund baby, and I wish I was born into something where I had a ton of money. That'd be really great because I would like to travel and meet people, and, well, I guess you can't do that now, but I'd like to have fun more. I'd like to play Magic. I'd like to go visit friends and other people online, or maybe go to a Magic event in 10 years and actually play in the tournament. Like that, like, wow. And, and I know people watch this going, this Rudy guy has more money in Magic than anyone probably almost in the world. And the guy's over here wishing he could play a game of Magic. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what I like to call just a paradox of life. And that it's funny how life swings around, becomes full circle, and then all of a sudden the things that are important to you would be just sitting down with friends or family and playing a game of Magic. Like, that's a special moment for me now when I can have time and a schedule to line that up. And I wanted to share this because it really does prove, though, the purpose of this whole 20-minute video is that it proves, everybody, if you really, really, truly want it, and you're really willing to go the distance. I don't mean just, I'm psyched from a Rudy video, I'm going to work hard tonight and exercise, or I'm going to work an extra shift at my job, I'm going to flip cards on the internet. I respect that. But chances are, this time in 30 days from now, you're not going to remember this video. You're not going to be pepped up. Something bad will happen, it'll make you bitter again, and you just won't do anything. You'll go back into your lazy ways. I've been there, I know. Most people are, and most people never break away from it. But I just want people to know one thing. And that one thing is that it is possible if you really want to do it. And guess what? If you choose to go that route, people are going to call you selfish, you're cheap, you pinch pennies. Oh, Rudy, that guy's so cheap and late. People are going to throw everything they got at you. And that is really you're going to learn more about yourself than not many things in this world can teach you. And it takes a special kind of person to really learn about yourself, and you really see what you're made of. And you see things differently then. And I think that's really all I have to say today. It's just, so when I work 60 true hours a week, minimum 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, including Saturdays and Sundays. Ask a patron. They get messages, responses from me at 3 a.m. You really learn what kind of person you are. And I think everybody should try to learn what kind of person they are. That's all I got.